excerpt of In Debt We Trust, America Before the Bubble Burst. The film's directed by Danny Schechter, the news dissector, a veteran journalist, and he is also a media critic and co-founder of MediaChannel.org, one of the largest online media issues networks. He has more than 20 films to his credit. Danny joins us now in our Firehouse studio. Danny, talk about these people and the broader context in which you did this film.
What I tried to do in the film is link the stories of the victims, of the people who are suffering, of whom there are now millions in America. This is a new Katrina, let's think of it that way, a disaster affecting low-income people, but also increasingly middle-income people as the income divide in America grows. The housing crunch is now spilling over into other parts of our lives. $25,000 on average is what students leave college with, with loans and debts. People are paying in the last year some $65 billion just in late fees and interest payments on credit cards. This is a kind of a vacuum cleaner into your pocket and taking your money and swinging it over into the Wall Street so that Goldman Sachs can give out, $16 billion Christmas gifts to its employees. It's blatant, it's obscene, and it's dramatic, and it's institutional. And this is what we have to realize. We talk about financialization, which is like the loan and credit complex, very much like the military-industrial complex that has emerged in this country, structured around big banks and credit card companies who are making large profits in the market and from us as consumers without very much scrutiny, in part because they spend $5 billion a year in marketing. You watch the Super Bowl, you see all the great spots for Visa and MasterCard. They're pervasive in the media, and the media is not doing a very good job of offering analysis. I mean, the sort of stories Juan has been doing in the daily news, we're really going into the neighborhoods, very few and far between in what we see in our media about this problem. That's because America has shifted from a country that made things to a country that buys things. The factory used to be our icon of economic progress. Today it's the mall. And as a result, people are encouraged to shop till they drop. We'll lend you the money up front. And of course, the piper has to be paid at the end of the day. And that's why I made this film, because I began to realize, like, my savings was dribbling away. And lo and behold, America's savings rate is at below 5%. In other words, nobody has savings anymore. It's almost like the recession or depression levels. And there are a lot of very serious people who are warning of a recession rather. We have a recession, and worse as a result of these trends. That's why this issue has to be one to be organized around. It's a struggle to try to get a film out that challenges really the center of power in America, financial power.
And then even on the issue of housing, the equity that people build up in their houses is constantly being attacked by people who want you to take out loans based on the value of your house, but that assumes obviously that real estate values will continue to go up when they don't necessarily do.
Our homes have become ATM machines. We're basically taking money out in equity until there is no more money to be taken out. And now it's impacting on, high-income people as well. The New York Times on Sunday said because of this whole crisis, the lenders are tightening up on criteria to buy, $1 million condos and the rest, and housing is slowing in New York. A lot of people can't sell their homes the way they thought they would. In New York and around the world, around America anyway, reality is spelt realty for most people. That's what they talk about. Their apartments, how much they're worth, endlessly. Well, what happens when that value is gone, or when you don't have easy access to a market or people who want to buy your homes? You're in trouble.
I'd like to ask you for a second about the college loan situation. Recently in New York State, the new Attorney General, Andrew Cuomo, went after some major universities. It turns out the universities were not only hooking up special deals with lenders, but were getting kickbacks by the volume of loans that they were able to direct their students to particular lenders.
Well, there's a lot of collusion here, between the universities and the lenders, because there's a way to raise money for the university. When I was at the Rochester Institute of Technology, I went to a lecture by Dr. Robert Manning, who wrote a book, Credit Card Nation, detailing this problem. And just outside his lecture hall, I went to the bathroom, I went outside, and I said, oh my God, the bank banks have all set up tables, and they're signing kids up for credit cards and for accounts right here on the campus. And we went out, took our cameras out of the presentation, and we took it next door, and we saw this process at work. You know, all these kids want what everybody else has. They want to shop at the Gap. They want the nicest and the best and everything else, and they run up a tremendous credit card balances, and then they can't pay. And we have not only suicides being reported of young people in despair over all of this, but kids leave school, and what do? They have to find the first job they can to pay back. They can't come and volunteer at Democracy Now! Or MediaChannel.org because they have to pay off their loans. So their options, their life options, are being impacted by this as well. That's why this debt problem is not just an economic issue, not just affecting housing, but affecting our whole society. We, in our film, In Debt We Trust, we look at the bankruptcy bill that sailed through Congress with bipartisan support, Democrats and Republicans supporting this measure. And this is why after Katrina, we found out, guess what? The people in New Orleans couldn't file for bankruptcy when they lost their homes because floods had been taken out of the bill as a basis, for relief.
Danny, you also talk about scamming soldiers.
Yes, indeed. You know, 100,000 veterans coming back from the Iraq War are in debt, and they're dealing with these payday lenders. We were down in Norfolk, Virginia, around the naval base there. Last year, there have been 3 payday lenders. There are now 36 or 26 payday lenders and loan stores and what have you. People are going into hock, and they don't know how to get out of it. And we're talking about large numbers. And, you know, I was given access by the Naval and Marine Corps Relief Society, not people I usually hang with, you know, because they want to call attention to this problem, and it affects everybody. That's why it's an issue that we should organize around. I reached out to Move On. I said, get involved on this issue because it's a way of bringing people together. We need common ground issues that can unite Americans for economic justice, and we're not seeing that happening. As factories close, as people lose their jobs, this credit crunch is really driving and taking away their assets. That's why In Debt We Trust is a very important film, I believe.
Well, Danny, you're using your film as an organizing tool. It's opening here in New York.
Yeah,
where
here it
tonight?
is, Amy. This is the actual DVD, which is out. We have a website, indebtwetrust.com and stopthesqueeze.org. We're trying to run a campaign alongside the film to get people active, a little bit the way Robert Greenwald did with his Out Fox movie, but we're trying to take it one step further and actually organize people and encourage them to organize. We have all the major groups like the National Center for Responsible Lending and ACORN are in the film, and other organizations, NEPAD here in New York.
And it's opening tonight at the Quad?
At the Quad Cinema.
In New York City.
13th Street, 7:50, tomorrow night, 7:50 p.m. at the Quad. Please come. Please tell your friends.